Set this up. And let me do this real fast. Move that a little bit. Okay, that's better. Hello guys, CD Mangaki here. We're going to do a very quick little bot analysis of Origen versus Fnatic. We're not going to look at the whole game in general. I did a piece on the compositions and what each of their goals was with GoPretend.com, so if you want to look at what Fnatic and Origen were looking at trying to accomplish in this game, you can go read the article there. There will be a link in the description for it. I want to instead look at something I didn't talk about in the article, which is the early game lane swap and how well Fnatic played it in order to make sure that Huni didn't get screwed over by it, and also Fnatic's bottom lane didn't get circumvented by it. So we have, this is after the big level 1 happened, where like both sides just clashed at the river, at the Barren Riverside here. So if you look at the summoner spell advantages, okay, you have a summoner spell advantage in the top lane and the bottom lane for Origen. Huni uses flash in the fight to try and get a kill, so now he doesn't have a flash, he's got no way to escape ganks or to deal with a lane swap. And then Reckles and Yellowstar both use their heal and ignite respectively, while Origen held onto theirs. So if these two lanes were to meet, Origen would just get such a huge advantage over Fnatic, because they have these combat summoner spells that Fnatic doesn't have access to. And furthermore, Sivir can push in Kalista pretty fast. Annie has great zoning, great harass over Janna, she can shield some of it, but they're not going to be able to trade with his bottom lane at all in this case. So if these two meet in a standard lane matchup, they lose hard. However, likewise, Huni's not going to be able to deal with a lane swap scenario either and deal with this 2v1. He's on Echo, he's a carry AP champion. He does have some ranged farm tools, but because he doesn't have flash, and the enemy team has a composition that is super easy to dive with, he's very vulnerable to being dove. So with these two scenarios, Origen recognized this, and they say, okay, hey, they're probably going to lane swap to avoid us. Let's go top side, let's try and get the 2v2, Soaz can lane against Echo, he'll do pretty fine in that matchup, and we could just crush Reckles and Yellowstar, okay? Fnatic, though, just sends standard. Either they were expecting Origen just to go, either they were going to just, say, okay, it's whatever, we can deal with getting behind, Huni can deal in the 1v1 lane matchup, we'll get ahead like that, or they went advanced metagame and said, okay, Origen's probably going to expect us to do a lane swap, because we lost the summoner spells, we want to avoid the bottom lane matchup, but we'll just go bottom lane ourselves instead, because they'll probably go top thinking that we're doing it. It's kind of hard to tell without hearing the comms in the game, so let's see how this plays out. So Origen, their top and jungle start on the weak side, on bomb side, and we call it the weak side because their duo lane is not there. The strong side is where your duo lane is on the map. Whereas Reignover starts on his strong side. Okay, so Huni comes out here in the middle of the wave, so he's not even waiting to see who really shows up. And once Origen see him there, they go, okay, wait, we can get behind him, we can damage him pretty well. We didn't get the lane swap, but now he doesn't have a flash, so we can punish him really hard. So Amazing's going to start down here, and Hecarim's going to start here, and then they're going to see, okay, so this is what's happening. They show here Fnatic's bottom lane is trying to do the Gromp in order to get an advantage there, thinking that they're going to be in, probably be in the 2v2, or at very least just to take it. And then they said Reckles down to solo XP. Janna's like, okay, if their duo is topside, I need to get information in their jungle about where their guys are. But Hecarim's already cleared out the Raptors, and Gragas already cleared out red, and he's just immediately on his way. So Janna goes there and says, okay, so they started on the bottom side, and they took red camp. So now they know exactly what Origen's pathing is going to be. And Huni gets chunked, so he has to recall. Now, he could burn teleport, but that's a stupid thing to do, because Fnatic already has information as to where the top and jungle of Origen are going to be. They cleared up this side, they're not here anymore, so they're probably up here, they're going to be on top side. So if Huni goes up here, he's going to get 4v1 down and killed. So they got to put him somewhere else. So Fnatic, knowing the pathing here, say, okay, hey, Reignover, come on down here, we can harass, we can take this tower and look for a dragon. And whereas Origen is taking their time, they're just doing a full-on double jungle clear for a bit. So we'll skip over this next little bit. Reignover takes his time to take some Krugs. Fnatic and Feathervin and Xpeke are trading in the lane. And Huni just walks down the lane. Now, this is where Fnatic really begins to show their ability just to set Huni up and to make sure that he doesn't get screwed in these scenarios. So, Fnatic chooses to prioritize taking these early towers, while Origen prioritizes denying Reignover more of his jungle by taking some of the farm from him, and really using Soaz's smite start to their advantage. So Fnatic 4v0 this tower. With Olaf, Kalista, and Janna, they can actually hurt towers pretty badly, take them very fast. Niels can push in the towers, though. And you can see here that, again, they're just going to say, okay, we'll take away the red buff from Olaf, which isn't too big of a deal because Olaf's not going to be able to do a whole lot in the early game with ganks in this situation anyway. So then watch what Fnatic does. So they're getting the tower down, and then 3 members leave while Huni stays. So Fnatic is going to take the dragon. They're maximizing the efficiency of their time spent in bottom lane. They're getting 2 objectives at the same time, and they're getting Huni solo lane farm and experience, so then he can catch up to Soaz, who's just double farming the jungle with Amazing. So they take this dragon. Origen still haven't taken their top tower yet. They will on this next wave, though. Okay, so now Huni's got some time to take the bottom lane, and Soaz joins top side in order to get some more damage on this tower, take it a little faster. Origen's going to bounce the wave back, let the tower kill these last couple minions so that the wave will be in the middle of the lane. So whoever comes here will have to overextend for the farm. Huni stays bot side while Fnatic's double lane goes top side. Now, Origen has to back right now with their dual lane, because first off, they're going to overextend over here. They don't have any vision. And they know that because Fnatic just took Dragon down here, which they can tell because Xbecky can look at Febim and say, oh, he has a Dragon's buff right on him now, so they took Dragon. So they're going to come back here, but they're going to have an item advantage, so Origen has to back. Now, Origen seems to make a bit of a split decision in what they want to do. So they have Soaz up there. They see Huni down here. So when you look first, it looks like Origen's just going to go up to Huni and deny him more. It's like, okay, we'll just do this lane swap scenario and keep on denying him. That's fine. But then they kind of begin to go, maybe we shouldn't do that. I want to see exactly what goes on. So I think that what happens is they realize, okay, wait, hold on. Huni has some pretty good wave clear. And he also just walked away from the lane. You're like, there's no reason for him to leave lane. There's minions right there. Huni goes into a brush, and so they can assume that he's recalling. So Origen's realizing, hey, wait, he's not going to be in that lane. So this is Origen reacting. It was a mistake to say. They get a little bit of like a confused about what to do. They see Huni going to back because he backs away from the minion wave, goes off into a brush, stays out of the fog, or hides within the fog of war. So Origen realized, wait, Fnatic's just going to do the same 4v0 thing up top with Olaf, Kalista, and Janna. They can take the towers very fast, probably get a big lead out of it. If it turns into a base race, which it shouldn't this early on, but you know, there's some real danger to losing a lot of objectives, and they don't want Soaz to fall behind, even though they could just send him off in the jungle to farm. So they said, okay, hold on, let's send Soaz to the bottom lane. He has teleport advantage. We can give him some solo farm there. He can push in the wave since they're, you know, sending Huni up. They're probably sending Huni up there. So we can probably stop this whole thing and protect the tower. And Amazing is actually going to get in a position to predict Rainover coming in. You know, he's going to expect Rainover to flank through here in order to set up a dive over here. So they protect Soaz from a dive because you got to remember at this point as well, Soaz doesn't have any like escaping summoner spells. He's got Smite, Teleport, no ultimate. So, you know, Hecarim could be dove very easily as well, especially because Janna and Olaf both bring slows. So they're rotating the bot lane over. Amazing waits right here, and he starts his trade with Rainover. So he gets some pretty good damage down, begins to chase, and now this is where Origen really overstays for this fight. At this point, okay, you have your Sivir showing up to lane here as the wave's crashing in. You've just harassed Rainover, so he's not going to be able to join over here. You have your jungler going down to the bottom lane. If you're Origen at this point, you can just back off. You've saved this tower now. Rainover, you know, he's been zoned out by Amazing. Yellowstar's coming in for flank. Mythi's here to make sure they get some support. But then once Febim rotates over and Rainover re-engages, because Amazing chased a little too far onto Rainover. Like, he could have just backed off. He gets knocked up mid body slam by Yellowstar. Yellowstar has some great whirlwinds in this fight. And then Febim comes on over. Now you have a full-on brawl here. Because Amazing was just he overextended way too much here to harass Rainover. So now, if you look here, Fnatic has this stacked minion wave topside. So while this fight's going on, this is going to crash in the tower and deny Origen. Origen is also going into Fnatic's lineup, but they know that Huni's topside. So they know their numbers disadvantage, and they're going to have to burn teleport. Furthermore, Huni has picked up a Phoenix Codex, who has got some extra AP and cooldown. Soaz is sitting on a red skirmisher's smite, so he only can smite one target, deal extra bit of true damage to them, reduce damage from them. He has no global combat stats right now, in addition to what Hecarim just naturally brings in. This is a fight that Origen should not opt into, and that Fnatic has every advantage in. So they get this huge, quite a bit of harass down onto Mithy. They're forced Niels to heal out, and then Rekkles joins the fight. Soaz chases onto them. Fnatic disengaged very well, and then once Origen overextended here to the pit, Huni joins the fight, and they go, oh wait, there's Huni, but now Rekkles is able to come on in. Soaz has burned his early cooldowns. He doesn't have any more early damage really, so he's just going to smite Huni, get taken out. Niels is going to do whatever. And then Yellowstar with his low cooldown spells is going to be able to shield so many people, knock up so much stuff. Feven is able, also flashes on over, helps get the extra damage down to finish up a kill there. Reignover does get picked up by Niels. And Rekkles looks like he's in a bit of trouble. But here's the advantage. Yellowstar still has mana. Rekkles has a Vamp Scepter, so he can sustain. He's also got plenty of mana. Niels just uses Boomerang Blade. It's right there. And XPK has no mana. Okay. So Rekkles able to dodge a second tick of that. Yellowstar gets a shield on him, so his Rend and Autotech's doing more damage. And Kalista also has, she thrives in skirmishes. She's so mobile, she can dodge a couple of things. She didn't dodge so well in this fight, but with the Vamp Scepter, she's able to sustain. Yellowstar is going to proc W passive, so there's a bit, look at that Hell Strike with Ren W. Niels is now basically dead, and Xpeke can do nothing. Xmithy still has to stack up his stun to do anything, so these two can just auto attack. And then once this happens, Yellowstar gets another great whirlwind, and they just finish off Mithy. Origen should not have opted in that fight. Once you stop Reignover from joining his squad up here, and you got your Sivir up there to stop the push coming in, you save this tower, you got the 2v2 lane matchup with a damage advantage in terms of items, even though Kalista can't sustain through it. And then, their top laner is also coming up there, and you got yours down here who can just solo farm and push us in the tower. You could have gotten Soaz way ahead of Huni here with this farm, denied him more as he's trying to go topside. You've stopped the dive already. Huni would probably have to burn teleport to go back into bottom lane. Instead, Origen, after Amazing gets this harass off, he chases too much and Origen is forced to commit to a fight that they had no reason to commit to. So big misplay from Origen. Anyway, so we'll skip the replay because we just talked about that whole fight. Anyway, so now you got the standard lane setting up. Huni with his item advantage because he's got a Phoenix Codex which lets him trade against Soaz. He's just going to bully out Soaz for a little bit, kind of push him out of the lane. And he's going to do this and then, watch what Fnatic does for Huni. So they've given him one tower and a couple of minion waves in the early game. So meanwhile, Origen with their wave clearing advantage is going to push Fnatic back, but that's fine. Fnatic is just going to do the same thing at bottom side. Amazing's trying to come up here to make sure his bottom lane is going to be safe, that they don't overextend. But it happens anyway. Feven pushes Xpeke in. He's going to roam up here. Amazing's there to his zone, but Reignover and Feven are going to come in. And then Yellowstar with Rekkles' Fate's Call is just going to be able to get an engage on Niels, who doesn't have any summer spells. And they're just going to get a quick kill onto him, and it goes to Feven. So Fnatic, or Origen rather, it's hard to keep the line straight. Overextends here, trying to push up farm, even though they did have security with the Gragas, but Sivir wasn't level 6 yet, so it was too risky of a call, really. So now Huni's going to come up here. He's pushed Soaz in, and he's going to give Soaz some free farm, but he's accumulated quite a respectable CS lead for him while he was down there. He's going to clear this ward. He's going to go back. Excuse me. And then watch what Fnatic does to the top lane wave. It's pretty beautiful. So they got this big wave crashing in. Rekkles and Yellowstar are going to just hammer on the tower. Origen's spawn lane comes up. They can't fight right now because there's this huge level of disadvantage. But then Rekkles backs off. Okay, he could have finished the tower there. We know he could have. But instead they back off because look where Huni is. Huni's already he recalled down here, and now he's on his way to top lane. Tower stays up. This is great. So now Fnatic, Huni and Soaz Carpet farm. Rekkles is doing way better than Niels right now. So, but now Fnatic can just get Huni even more ahead and make sure that he just gets so much resources pumped into him. So Fnatic's bottom lane backs off. Niels is going to push out this wave, and then they see, Huni's here, and Mithy's back, so Niels like, okay, so they're just going to do that. But all Niels has to do is clear this wave and then hit the tower once, and he's going to get the local rewards for it. Fnatic in the early game has not only completely circumvented Origen's huge advantage, which they could have really capitalize on after that level 1 skirmish. But they've set Huni up with so much extra golden resources and got an early dragon out of it. Fnatic played this early game phenomenally well, from the skirmish that Origen picked at a very poor time to circumventing the lane swap advantages that Origen could have come up with. Like, Origen, had things gone their way, should have come up with a huge advantage from this lane swap, but Fnatic completely circumvented, and it's just a great play overall to see. Now, Huni, take the tower, which is rightfully yours. So thank you guys for watching this quick early game analysis video. I just want to talk about the lane swap scenario. It was very interesting to see. It's kind of disappointed that it wasn't talked about in game as the casters were casting, so I wanted to explore it here. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.